But the enduring lesson of Richard Nixon is that he never gave up being part of the action and passion of his times. He said many times that unless a person has a goal, a new mountain to climb, his spirit will die. Well, based on our last phone conversation and the letter he wrote me just a month ago, I can say that his spirit was very much alive to the very end. That is a great tribute to him, to his wonderful wife, Pat, to his children and to his grandchildren, whose love he so depended on and whose love he returned in full measure. Today is a day for his family, his friends, and his nation to remember President Nixon's life in totality. To them, let us say, may the day of judging President Nixon on anything less than his entire life and career come to a close. May we heed his call to maintain the will and the wisdom to build on America's greatest gift, its freedom, to lead a world full of difficulty to the just and lasting peace he dreamed of. As it is written in the words of a hymn I heard in my church last Sunday, grant that I may realize that the trifling of life creates differences, but that in the higher things we are all one. In the twilight of his life, President Nixon knew that lesson well. It is, I feel certain, a faith he would want us all to keep.
Whether it's the families of the crew of the Challenger shuttle, or the USS Stark, or the Marines killed in Beirut, we will never forget those images of the President and First Lady embracing them and embracing us during times of sorrow. So Nancy, I want to say this to you. Today, America embraces you. We open up our arms. We seek to comfort you, to tell you of our admiration for your courage and your selfless caring. And to the Reagan kids, it's okay for me to say that at 80, Michael, Ron, Patty, today all of our sympathy, all of our condolences to you all. And we remember too your sister Maureen, home safe now with her father. As his vice president for 8 years, I learned more from Ronald Reagan than from anyone I encountered in all my years of public life. I learned kindness. We all did. I also learned courage. The nation did. And then I learned decency. The whole world did. Days after being shot, weak from wounds, he spilled water from a sink. And entering the hospital room, aides saw him on his hands and knees, wiping water from the floor. He worried that his nurse would get in trouble. The good book says humility goes before honor, and our friend had both. And oh, how President Reagan loved a good story. When asked, how did your visit go with Bishop Tutu? He replied, so-so. The Lord delights in the way of the man whose steps he has made firm. Though he stumble, he will not fall. For the Lord upholds him with his hand. And then this too from 37, there is a future for the man of peace. God bless you, Ronald Wilson Reagan, and the nation you loved and led so well.
For myself and for our nation, I want to thank my predecessor for all he has done to heal our land. Those were the first words I spoke as president. And I still hate to admit that they received more applause than any other words in my inaugural address. You learn a lot about a man when you run against him for president and when you stand in his shoes and assume the responsibilities that he has borne so well. One of my proudest moments was at the commemoration of the 200th birthday of the White House, when two noted historians both declared that the Ford-Carter friendship was the most intensely personal between any two presidents in history. This close relationship extended to our spouses, as Betty worked on drug and alcohol abuse and Rosen addressed the challenges of mental illness. And when those two women descended on Washington together, few members of Congress could resist their combined lobbying assault. The four of us learned to love each other. I still don't know any better way to express it than the words I used almost exactly 30 years ago. For myself and for our nation, I want to thank my predecessor. For all he did to heal our land.
Dad always believed that one day he would hug his precious Robin again. He loved to laugh, especially at himself. He could tease and needle, but never out of malice. We tested his patience. I know I did. But he always responded with the great gift of unconditional love. Last Friday, when I was told he had minutes to live, I called him. The guy answered the phone, said I think he can hear you, but he hadn't said anything for most of the day. I said, Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father. And the last words he would ever say on earth were, I love you too. He married a sweetheart. He adored her. He laughed and cried with her. He was dedicated to her totally. In his old age, Dad enjoyed watching police show reruns, the volume on high, all the while holding Mom's hand. After Mom died, Dad was strong, but all he really wanted to do was hold Mom's hand again. Of course, Dad taught me another special lesson. He showed me what it means to be a president who serves with integrity, leads with courage, and acts with love in his heart for the citizens of our country. When the history books are written, they will say that George H.W. Bush was a great president of the United States, and we're going to miss you. Your decency, sincerity, and kind soul will stay with us forever. So through our tears, let us know the blessings of knowing and loving you, a great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.